Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with another Magic the Gathering Arena brew. Look at that, 2 brews in 2 days. Guess who's back to brewing? This guy, which is funny because I've been thinking about switching over to Artifact once the Artifact comes out on Steam. If you don't know what Artifact is, it's a game that's developed by Richard Garfield with the Dota 2 world in mind. So it's a card game, digital card game, has some elements of Magic and Dota kind of crossed. It looks pretty good. So if you haven't seen it, I definitely suggest you go check the stream out that they did at PAX West that introduces the game and shows some gameplay. So far, it's looking amazing, and I wouldn't expect anything less from Richard Garfield. So anyway, though, we are going to continue with the Arena Brews. This one you see before you is a mono black gift. This is utilizing 2 of my favorite cards in Standard before they rotate, the Marionette Master combo with the Metalwork Colossus, as well as the God-Pharaoh's Gift. So the combo is you try to get the Marionette Master back with God-Pharaoh's Gift, and then you sacrifice 4 artifacts to Marionette Master. It does 16 damage. If you have 1 more artifact on board, then you can do 20 damage without having to swing in with a 4/4 Marionette Master. If you haven't checked out a lot of the gameplay video for my Marionette Master combo deck, definitely go and check that out. The black-blue deck is, in my opinion, a lot better than this deck, but this is just another version. A little bit easier on the wild cards, as you don't have to utilize a lot of the dual lands. However, this one I am being a little bit greedy with the Cabal Strongholds just because I had them. I did so many Dominaria drafts. I believe I have almost every rare as a 4 of in Dominaria with MTG Arena. So people are whining about how hard it is to acquire cards. If you stay within the newest set, like just continue to draft the newest set with all, when you ever get to 5,000 coins, just draft the set. I think you acquire the cards quite quickly. So Dominaria and M19, I have a ton of cards. The sets before that, not so much, but I kind of started late with Arena. So I did have the Cabal Stronghold. It's definitely not a must. In fact, it's very, very tough to actually make Cabal Stronghold worthwhile, but there is no downside to running this card. So the upside is that once you have 4 swamps, it actually does net up mana. I know it's 5 swamps at that point. There's 3 in it, and it's self-tap, and then it nets you up mana at that point. No? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's just go down the list here. This is trying to utilize Stitcher Supplier. I tried Stitcher Supplier in a black-blue Marionette Master deck. Did not like it because you are very, very low on the black to begin with. You're heavy on the blue, and I think it really messes with the mana if you want to get Stitcher Supplier to work. So I decided not to throw in Stitcher Supplier in the black-blue list, and this mono-black, of course, is going to be very, very good, and it's paired with cards like Costly Plunder and Morbid Curiosity, because this Costly Plunder, you can sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier to then draw 2 cards and then mill additional 3. You're not going to use it with Morbid Curiosity because it works off of mana cost, unless you absolutely have to. Morbid Curiosity is just really in here for all those cards that are 3 or above to get the more of the benefit off of just the regular Costly Plunder. So in this case, we're going to run Direfleet Hoarder. It also pairs really nicely with Costly Plunder. You get to leave back a treasure token, which is significant for Marionette Master. Plus, it allows you to ramp up to your... a lot of times if you have excess mana, you'll have the creatures in your graveyard. You just need the mana to cast the Gate to the Afterlife and then crack it for the God-Pharaoh's Gift. So Direfleet Hoarder, I think, does exactly what this deck wants to do. With putting up a 2/1 chump blocker, it dies. You get back at least some sort of benefit of having an artifact left behind, which can be costly plundered, by the way. So it's another way to then draw additional cards if you have to. Seekers Squire is the next best card for Explorer. You get a 2/3 body or a 1/2 and a land, and usually you're going to put the card in the graveyard unless it is a Gate to the Afterlife. Yeah, it's usually the only card you want to keep on top of your library. Literally everything else will go in the graveyard. Maybe not like a Costly Plunder, but if it's a creature, you're just going to chuck it in the graveyard. So Morbid Curiosity, another, it's copies number 5 and 6 of the Costly Plunder. We have a Tomb Robber. This is one that I still need some more testing with, because it kind of sucks when you get too many of one card in your hand and there's no way to get rid of them. And so the Tomb Robber, or Tome Robber, Tomb. It is Tomb Robber, jeez. Discard a card, Tomb Robber explores. So you can then just continue to just go through your deck, like at least, I mean, you discard a card, explore. If you get another creature on top of your library, just throw it in the graveyard, and then discard another card, do the same. It's a way to fill up your graveyard very, very quickly. And then we have Yahenni, Undying Partisan. This is something you can sacrifice your creatures out to trigger off the gate to the Afterlife. It also gives you another sack outlet with Marionette Master, so sometimes you can just throw Marionette Master out on 4, and then put the 3 servos, and you can do 4, 8, 12 damage right there with the Yahenni. So not a bad card. I don't know if you want more than one of in the deck. Again, we're still messing around with the numbers. For control, I'm running 4 Ravenous Chupacabras. It's a necessary evil, I think. You can get more greedy with running like more Treasure Keepers, more Tomb Robbers. I'm sure there might be another 2-drop slot card you can throw in here. I thought about running Aether Hub and the Glint Sleeve Siphoner in this slot. We might actually run that instead of the Direfleet Hoarder combo. At that point, I think I'd cut Morbid Curiosity, though, but then you definitely want to cut the Cabal Stronghold and just run the Aether Hubs, and that allows you to have a kind of an explosive draw with the first turn Aether Hub, second turn on the Glint Sleeve Siphoner, and then you have the 2 mana to then draw a card the next turn. However, there's not other ways of generating energy in this deck, so it's kind of a meh at that point. So Chupacabra kills anything when it comes back as a 4/4, can then kill another creature when it comes back. Treasure Keeper's kind of fun in here. It's going to find you a relevant target once it dies. Morbid Curiosity to draw 4 cards with it, as well as reveal cards to the top of your library until you have something that convert mana cost 3 or less. That is Gate to the Afterlife, so you can dig for a Gate to the Afterlife, but of course there's plenty of other cards that can hit underneath Gate to the Afterlife. But it's not going to hit anything like Marionette Master or God-Pharaoh's Gift or Metalwork Colossus. Can't hit a Walking Ballista, so that is a little bit of an on-bow, but at least it goes to the graveyard to get the count towards your Gate to the Afterlife. Then we have the Marionette Master, the God-Pharaoh's Gift, both the 2 of them in this deck, as well as Metalwork Colossus. All of these, that's the number you need. Statistically, if you go through a good chunk of your deck, a good 20 cards, you should on average find 1 copy of each of these. Last but not least is the Walking Ballista, still one of the strongest cards, if not the strongest card in the deck. Has a lot of synergy with the Gate to the Afterlife to cast it on 0, so you can trigger the Gate to the Afterlife. It also has synergy with the Marionette Master to cast for 0 and get that last points of damage in. So there will be a lot of games you'll win because you'll bring back the Marionette Master, which will bring back 3 servos, as well as have the God-Pharaoh's Gift. That's 4, 8, 12, 16 damage to the Metalwork Colossus, and then you can just hard cast a Walking Ballista to do the last 4 points to dish off the 20 points of damage. So we've done that many, many times with the black-blue deck, and done it many times with this mono-black deck as well. So Cabal Stronghold is a 4 of, and a 17 swamps. 21 is probably the right number. Sideboard, I'm not going to worry about Sideboard because we're going to be doing a quick constructed, but Filigree Familiar is a pretty good one versus aggro, as it draws you a card and gains you 2 life. Treasure Map is good versus control, as it's just inevitably scries a lot and also gives the tokens that then can be used with the Marionette Master. We have the Demon of Catastrophes against control as well. It's just a fast creature that can come out to then. This is another card I'm kind of toying around with, as it puts a card in the graveyard for the Gate to the Afterlife and brings back a 6/6 flying trample body. However, I just didn't think it's good enough in the main. And then cards like Noxious Gearhulk would be good in the sideboard as well. If you're going up against a big green deck, for example, this is a great card. So you can gain a ton of life, like 10 life or 12 life off a Galta or a Gigantosaurus. And then you can get this back as well with the Gate to the Afterlife or the God-Pharaoh's Gift later on. Gleaming Barrier is another one, just versus aggro. 0/4 blocks the 3/2s. The 3/2... trying to think of the card now, Scrappy Scroungers, and yeah, just pretty good there. You can actually put Scrappy Scroungers in this deck versus control. I've done that before with the Marionette Master deck when control was everywhere. Just bringing those back and then turning into like a graveyard value-based strategy is not that bad of a game plan. And the Arguel's Blowfast also is pretty good versus control, just so you can continue to draw cards, and hopefully outvalue them. So all in all, I don't think this deck is as good as the black-blue version, but it's a fun concept nonetheless, and let's get started with it. So let's go over here and play a quick constructed and choose the mono black gift and see if we can get some decent matchups. So, very keepable hand. We have the Sister Supplier first turn. We have a Direfleet, Hoarder, or a Seekers Squire. Probably the Seekers Squire is better to put out on turn number 2. And we're in good shape. So, unfortunately, it's a Morbid Curiosity and Double Swamp, so the Stitcher Supplier failed us. Inventor's Fair, this is going to be a Master Thopterist, Aetherworks Marvel combo deck, most likely. So we need to be quick. And unfortunately, we don't have the hand that's quick. We wanted the Metalwork Colossus in the graveyard, however. That is a problem. Throw it in the graveyard on the Seekers Squire, and then we'll attack in for 1. So, I mean, the blue deck, too, this is what's so good about the black-blue, is Metalwork Colossus in your hand doesn't matter. You have champions, and you also have the Chart of Course. You can chuck it back in the graveyard. We're going to have a hard time finding this card in our graveyard. Unfortunately, it's not a card we want to draw into another land. And we'll do Direfleet Hoarder. And pass the turn. Soon to find like a Costly Plunder here to sacrifice a Direfleet Hoarder. Draw some cards. Our opponent did not hit their land drop though, so we have a Yahenni, which is going to be good. And whoop, should have done the Yahenni there. We'll do another Direfleet Hoarder though. Yahenni would have been better to do 2 damage. However, I think, yeah, damage-wise, we're still in really good shape. We'll do Treasure Keeper here. We're going to end up winning this game just with a bunch of 2-1s as our opponent gets stuck on lands. And I'm pretty sure there is the concession. No, does find a land, but it might just be a turn too late. Powerstone Shard, yep. And we can go ahead and swing in. So just our little creatures just get the job done in game number 1. Opponent kept a very, very loose hand, hoping to draw the 3rd land. Did not. That's sometimes the, you know, that's the risk of Magic. Get a useless Settle the Score, which I probably have bazillions of, from drafting Dominaria over and over. I'll do it. Once we get out of beta, I'm going to do a lot more live streaming with Arena and actually going from... So we're not going to spend any money on Arena. I initially will have the gems, though. I spent $100 on this game, I think, just when it came out, just to show would it be worth it. And so we're going to have a lot of gems to work with. We're going to probably draft exclusively all Guilds of Ravnica for a long time. And then I'll show you, you know, it's all about cracking that vault, getting those specific cards. This is a weird hand. I think I'm going to keep it, though. We have 2 cards. See, in the black-blue deck, this is a hand I don't care about because we can just loot these away. However, it's very, very tough to loot these. And we're going up against a Kitesail Filigree. Yeah, I don't care about that. It has to... oh, I do care about it. It's going to grab my Costly Plunder. Might grab my God-Pharaoh's Gift, though. If my opponent is not the greatest of player. They should grab the Costly Plunder. But the God-Pharaoh's... Yep. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. That was the wrong target, in my opinion. And we do find a land. Awesome off the Seekers Squire. That's good. Because we do want that 4th and 5th. This will be able to kill the Kitesail Freebooter. However, this is usually going to be... Yeah, Grixis, so... Ooh. Okay, that's not as bad as... And we have a couple strongholds, so we're going to put the Gate to the Afterlife out. There definitely could be an Abrade. I mean, Abrades are everywhere, but I think just putting this out is the better call, because then we can block the Seekers Squire with the Knight of the Malice and actually loot the Metalwork Colossus away. Yeah, wow, okay. Maybe this is just another brew. We'll go ahead and block here. What does this make me do? At the beginning of each turn, is that player loses their life unless they sacrifice on land. Alright, take action. And throw the Metalwork Colossus away. Alright. Lose 3 life. Well, I could discard cards there. That actually could help. But we'll just lose 3 life here. So we're going to go Choop. kill an item Alice. Rather than the Kite Filigree Familiar, I don't care about that. God-Pharaoh's Gift. No blocks, and the Torment of Scarabs is going to help us out here. Resolve, and second online permanent. So our opponent's going to feed us here. And at this point, I think we can just chuck a swamp away. Found another swamp. That's not where we want to be. So... the freebooter gets booted. Har har. Cast down is kind of... yeah, kind of... okay here. I think we'll just throw away... man, this Costly Plunder is not doing much for us. Yeah, Swamp's fine. And pass the turn. So some sort of control-based strategy. Opponent's a little bit flooded. So are we, though. Big Walking Ballista. I can just hard cast a God-Pharaoh's Gift. We're going to lose 3 life because there's nothing I really want to discard here. And we indeed... this is interesting. We could go Stitcher Supplier. I could just hard cast God-Pharaoh's Gift, but I think I'm going to go the Stitcher Supplier route. Because it's 6 cards that are going in the graveyard. That's a lot of cards. We could just win with like a good Marionette Master. We're going to crack the gate to the Afterlife. Still have some mana left over too. And Library grabs the other God-Pharaoh's Gift. Like Costly Plunder for so many cards here. And do we have a Marionette Master in the graveyard? We do not, so let's go ahead and Costly Plunder. To try to find another target here. Did not find what we wanted. Go to combat. I think we just get a Ravenous Chupacabra back here. So, taking 3 damage to the face here. My opponent is taking some damage. We'll just throw away a swamp next turn with the Torment of Scarabs. Dress is annoying. Gets rid of my God-Pharaoh's Gift. Seekers Squire, get another Cabal Stronghold. It's a lot of mana. We'll do our own Walking Ballista on 4. And bring back a Stitcher Supplier, I guess, here is fine. There's our Marionette Master. Glimmer of Genius works. I don't think there's anything to get my opponent out of this, though. We have like a swamp we can even draw into and then just make a lot of mana. There's the concession. So we're 2-0 so far. And we get to go on to game number 3. Another decent little hand here. Unfortunately, we had the God-Pharaoh's Gift in our opening hand. But we have Citrus Supplier on turn number 1. And 2 Walking Ballistas. I mean, we usually want those in our hand, but I mean, it's 2 creatures in the graveyard. Soul Scar Mage. Let's do a Seekers Squire. Definitely graveyard that. And no attackers. Just to carry Zev. Alright, we hit a land as well, so we'll just do another Stitcher Supplier. We get a Chup and a Swamp and a Stitcher Supplier. So we have 5 creatures in our graveyard. We just need to now find the gate to the Afterlife. Lightning Strike. We'll go ahead and Costly Plunder that, get some value. 2 lands, it's okay. And we'll block a monkey here, I think. And then take... we can block the other one as well. Just save some damage. It's going to put a ton of cards in our graveyard. Unfortunately, it put a Gate to the Afterlife in the graveyard. That's only one of them, though. A Treasure Keeper comes down. We're getting close to where we can just hard cast a God-Pharaoh's Gift, which is always awesome. That's the big difference between this deck and the other deck. Block the monkey. Hopefully they don't have a Magma Spray to finish it off, because it is a die effect. Just a scrap heap. Another swamp, so we can generate 4/5 mana. Next turn we can cast a God-Pharaoh's Gift, I believe, though. And we can block the Scrap Heap Scrounger. 4 cards still in my opponent's deck. I'm at a nice little healthy 18, though. Okay, so Scrap Heap is going to be blocked here. I'm taking 3, going down to 15. And this can actually find me a... Let's see what it finds. Come on, Treasure Keeper. Of course, it's a Morbid Curiosity. That sucks. One of the only few cards that we could hit. Do you have a Braid mana up? I'd like to see my opponent tap out there, but nope. Well, here goes nothing. Come on. Cross your fingers, there's no Abrade. Ha! Lame. So, pretty horrible luck there. The Treasure Keeper did not hit us anything. And my opponent did have an Abrade. So, pretty much can be GG. Only 4 cards, 4 lands. That means all 3 of these cards in my opponent's hand are probably pretty significant. Another garbage card with the Seekers Squire. Well, if we can survive a turn, the Walking Ballista will be huge. That's a lot of ifs, though. My opponent has 4 cards. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way I survive. Another Abrade. Three, 6, 7, 8. That is game. Stupid Treasure Keeper. Hitting the Morbid... I actually do think if it hits anything but that Morbid Curiosity, we would have been fine. Gross. We had some pretty bad mills there. All around, that was a lot of bad luck. Got flooded. Treasure Keeper did not do its job. All right, let's hope for some better triggers. It's kind of the randomness of this deck. I've been playing a lot of the Arcane Adaptation deck with Citrus Supplier as well. And the amount of times I'll go Citrus Supplier and it will mill 2 Arcane Adaptations. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then you have to dig and dig and dig for that 3rd and 4th. Oh, this is gross. But we do have the... I think at this point we want the... No, we still want Seekers Squire. Search for Azcanta. Lame. Seekers Squire comes out. Hopefully it finds us a land. It does indeed. Awesome. Search for Azcanta throws away an island. These are typically tough matchups if they're Scarab Gods, though. We'll throw out a Direfleet Hoarder. Might as well. I want to see if my opponent just counters it. A lot of these blue players just they're counter happy, trigger happy. They counter whatever. Yep, see, blue player is the easiest thing in the world. I love how everyone talks about how blue is such a hard color to play. It's just so skill intensive. It probably is though, because when baddies like this just counter, like, oh, I have an Essence Scatter. I'm gonna use it no matter what. So, opponent should get Marionette Master here. I do have the second Marionette Master, though, in my deck. What do they take? Costly Plunder? Alright, this allows us to hit a gate to the Afterlife. Awesome. And this will hopefully do what we want it to do. Other than this is the turn Scarab God can come out. Oh yeah, but my opponent wouldn't want to do that because of Ravenous. So, I don't want to throw out Marionette Master. Wait, I don't have enough mana anyway. 1 off. So what we're going to do is just Direfleet Hoarder. Yeah. See if this gets countered. Does not. So now my opponent has a difficult decision. That's fine. Glimmer's fine here. Opponent's gonna dig for a Scarab God. Scarab God's kind of bad though with this Rav. Ravenous Chup. Throws away an Essence Scatter. Interesting. Evolving Wilds. Can crack the Evolving Wilds. For a swamp. We will Costly Plunder, see if it gets countered. Kind of weird, though, if my opponent taps out. We get the trigger off the gate to the Afterlife as well. 2 creatures in the graveyard. Probably throwing another one in the mix. Yeah, I think I have to keep this Ravenous Chupacabra in my hand just for a Scarab God. I think Yahenni's an easy throwaway there. Ugh. Well, we have the 5 mana. Kind of want to go Stitcher Supplier, but there's Disallow. Not what we're going to do. We're going to throw out the Marionette Master. This is also another really fun one to Morbid Curiosity. So there's Disallow. It happens. And now we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly. Unfortunately, Search for Azcanta flips. But we did get the Disallow out of the way. Opponent still can't safely throw out a Scarab God. I guess they can now. Bontu's is kind of weird. Really, that's a weird... Bontu's. That's a very weird Bontu's. Oh, this is... I'm going to throw Chup. I'm going to throw Chup away. Maybe that's not the right play, but I want the swamp. This swamp can go away, though. But, I mean, we have a lot of mana here. Gate to the Afterlife. We have the combo in the graveyard. If my opponent taps out here, too, they don't get an untap. So we have a negate. Let's see if that last card of hand is a Disallow. It is not. Well, I think there could be like a cast down. Interesting. I think I do the servo still. Because now nothing untaps here. My opponent has three mana open. That Bontu is such a bad Bontu. Yeah. So that is game. We just go to combat. Grab Yahenni. Don't even have to tack in. We actually have some more damage. So get to see that little cool interaction. And I don't know, see that? Just a lot of blue, like the Essence Scatter and the Bontus, I think was just, I think my opponent just fired them off because they had them. Like, control is, like, I would say aggro is a little bit tougher to play than control, because aggro, you have to optimize the damage. You have to do damage perfectly. If you mess up how you do your aggro deck, that's why you see a lot of Pro Tours actually won by aggro players, like a Mono Red, and sometimes when it's not even good in the format. Like, you'll see it at Grand Prix and GPs, or Grand Prix and Star C Opens, the aggro's not doing very well. And then you'll just see someone take a Pro Tour down with an aggro list, like we saw at what, Dragons of Tarkir Pro Tour, because you in a good player's hand, you have to maximize the amount of damage that you get through. Whereas like control, you have a lot of leeway. A lot of times the power level of the cards are just good. Like Essence Scattering my Seekers Squire was okay because it's still a card for a card. But there still is an optimal time to use stuff, and a lot of control players are just they're used to having the padding of being able to be okay with bad options or bad plays, and then when it does come time to have clutch plays, they just don't use them properly, if that makes sense. A lot of control players in real life that I meet are just not very good players. It's just like the power level of the cards that are getting there. I've talked about a lot how I think one of the design mistakes of Magic to begin with was giving one color card draw and not the rest of the deck manipulation and card draw, where I think all of the colors should have deck manipulation and card draw. It shouldn't just be one, because it just makes, in a game of variance, it just makes blue a lot more powerful of a color than the rest of them. So we'll take care of the Merfolk Branchwalker. Unfortunately, like, that was a land anyways, doesn't matter. We missed our land drop. Let's put out another Ballista. I hate using these Ballistas because we have the Marionette Master. So a lot of times we can have Gates to the Afterlife, either trigger the Ballistas later on. Okay, that's going to be a problem. This is going to be a typical loss because we get stuck on the 2. So decided not to play the Marionette Master there. A Blanchwood Armor. Oh, yeah. This would be so easy with a Chup. Could have like a Blossom Defense. Unfortunately, it's a Stitcher Supplier, which now it's going to find me 3 lands in the graveyard. It only finds me 1, but I don't think I can get out of this. I need to draw a land. And no, there's no way. I just die. So no Blossoming Defense or I would have won there. And that's just nail in the coffin there. Womp womp. Well, thank you, Arena. That was very lovely. I mean, keeping 2 landers is a bit risky. We have Costly Plunders. We have Seekers Squires we can draw into. Well, a lot of ways to go through the top, but you'll lose games like this. Another frustration about Magic, where it just gives you those hands you just can't. There's nothing to do. No way you can play. But I'll usually will keep 2 landers because the odds are in 2 turns, statistically speaking, you should draw a land. 3 draws, you should definitely. The odds get even better. So if you use a lot of times have 3 draws until you absolutely have to draw a land, you're in good shape statistically. And that was a very good hand with triple Walking Ballistas and double gates. It has a very explosive. Could have hit that 3rd, of course, the Chupacabra, or the gate would have at least come out. The Walking Ballistas could have been sacked to the... On the sea, at least we have 2 drops this time that are more relevant. Leave back some. But both our losses, though, I would still chalk up to really, really horrible luck. What could Treasure Keeper... No, I guess Treasure Keeper had 6 cards that it could hit. But statistically, it should have hit a card it could have utilized rather than on the loss of the red deck. Opt. First turn Opt. Could be 1,000 different decks. Well, that was a good 1-drop to hit. Other than we still want lands. Do not find 3 lands in the graveyard, Stitcher. Don't do it. GG. Oh, that was so awful. Now we're going to be stuck on the no land nonsense again. Nope, we hit another land. Okay. So now what I'd like to hit is a Costly Plunder, just so I can start drawing into those. But blue makes it a little more frustrating than Memorial Genius. Most likely we're looking at a Teferi deck. Hey, sometimes you ask and you shall receive. So we want a Costly Plunder because I want to keep hitting my mana. I don't want this counter too, so I'm not going to main phase it. Instant speed, you should use it instant. I know there could be the upside of drawing into like another Stitcher Supplier. However, I don't like that play. The play that I like is my opponent tapping out here, and then we can Costly Plunder a Stitcher Supplier. And it can find me 3 more lands. So it's blue-black again. Unfortunately, my opponent did not do anything, but this one will tap it out during their turn. Do not find 3 lands again, Stitcher Supplier. Found 1 land in a Seekers Squire. Pretty bad still. So we have 7 cards in our graveyard with one of them being a a creature. Or 2 of them, actually. Excuse me, because we did put the... Good night. 8 cards, though, yeah. My opponent does not realize that is their priority, so we get to watch the smiley face slowly dwindle down to a frowny face. Here, come on, you can do it. There you go. All right, another land. And I think I'd rather split the cards. Well, first we'll attack in. And we'll go Hoarder. My opponent will Glimmer in response. Okay. And we'll cast another Hoarder. Uh-oh, the game to freeze here? Okay, Scry 2 to the top, 0 to the bottom. Another Hoarder. And end the turn. So again, Scarab God is really tough here. Don't have a Chup. Haven't found a Chup yet. Gone through a third of our deck. Yeah, Scarab God just wins here. My opponent slams a Scarab God. Just a Walking Ballista on 2. All right, awesome. This also allows us to... Ooh, that's a Stronghold. Yep, we do have net up mana as well, so allows us to go Treasure Keeper. And Stitcher Supplier. Alright, you don't have a response, so I guess you can kill the Hoarders. We're coming in with them, regardless. Really liking the Cabal Stronghold in this match. Just decides to kill off a Seeker. Might get in for some damage. And we'll go Stitcher Supplier. So this should find some creatures now. Hopefully it doesn't find a Chup. Finds a Metalwork Colossus and more lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus another 6 is 12. So we have a whopping... That's a lot of lands in our first 24. Half our deck we've gone through has been lands. That's good, though, because we don't need lands now. Only one Cabal Stronghold, too. So... Harsh Scrutiny is not terrible. Could throw a counter on the Walking Ballista. Speak of more lands. Yeah, there's no point to. We'll do a Yahenni. Most likely will be countered here. There's the disallow. We'll attack in again with the team. Sure, the Walking Ballista. Ooh, that's interesting. Two treasures. Why did my opponent block first? So I could bring back Metalwork Colossus. That's fine. By killing the Treasure Keeper, and then we could possibly get something on that turn, but we can wait. So half the deck with no Scarab or Chupacabra yet. Yeah, so we'll just... Jeez, another land. Alright, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a lot of lands. 7 left in our lovely little... Yeah, really weird play. Torrential Gearhulk. Glimmer. Gonna block the Treasure Keeper. So in response, sack. So sack. And I did, okay, I did click that. We'll keep back a treasure. Unfortunately, we just get a Direfleet Hoarder out of the mix. This is where we wanted a Morbid. And still can't cast that Metalwork. Opponent's got a bazillion cards in hand now. I think that it's just going to be GG with the Torrential Gearhulks. Just way too many lands we drew into. It gets to get rid of the Metalwork Colossus with another Harsh Scrutiny. Lame. Although we can get it back, though, if we block, if he attacks him with the Torrential Gearhulk. Still have not seen a gate either? That is nuts. And yet another land. Ay, ay, ay. When it rains, it pours. Now we have 6 lands left in the 32. So over half our library with lands, or half our draw so far. Hey, we can cast a huge Torment of Hailfire. Watch my opponent cast another Torrential Gearhulk, because they always have 9 of them in hand. Nope, another Glimmer. To fill back up their hand yet again. So we have more lands out than the control deck, so that's always lovely. Just cast a Harsh Scrutiny. This is where your Harsh Scrutinies are really good. Okay, so at least we can get some value to cast back the Metalwork Colossus. I don't need anything in my graveyard now with the Stitcher Supplier. So if we're doing this right now because my opponent has a disallow, they have to use it in there. Okay. I mean, that'd be a pretty bad. Holy Walking Ballista on a bazillion. This will probably be disallowed. Well, I said there would be another Torrential Gearhulk. Unfortunately, I'm going to pass turn here. I don't think I cast a Walking Ballista. We're going to try to cast a big Walking Ballista. Still 5 cards in my opponent's hand. They're going to sacrifice here. That taps them down to just 2 lands. So could be a disallow. Or definitely going to block here. Unfortunately, it's going to throw away 3 gates when I block the Stitcher Supplier. So 3 gates to the Afterlife are going to go to the graveyard here when this dies. Oh, none. Oh no, it hasn't happened yet. 1 gate goes to the graveyard. And no land, so we're going to draw a land here. There's a gate to the Afterlife. There's the disallow. But this does allow for a quite big Walking Ballista. A 6/6 Walking Ballista. Disallow, so of course. We get to kill off 1 Torrential Gearhulk. But we are at the mercy of top decks. So maybe I should have cast that the other way around. Forced out a disallow. See if this one gets disallowed. Nope, we get to kill one of the Torrential Gearhulks. Oh boy, this would be the turn. My opponent just main phases that. Ah, come on, big creature! One of our remaining 5 lands. This game. That's all I can do is laugh at this point. There's double gates in the graveyard. We still have a God-Pharaoh's Gift as well. We still have Marionette Master we could have drawn there and to put out chump blockers. Now we're controlled out, though. I'm pretty sure my opponent has the 3rd and 4th Torrential Gearhulks in hand. 7 cards in hand. There's got to be another disallow. Only used 1 disallow as well, so it's got to be a disallow. Doesn't matter because it is a Costly Plunder. we'll scoop that up and say, wash our hands of that awful game with the variants. I'm trying to think of the last, so we have, what, 23 cards left, so double Marionette Masters left, and four Ravenous Chupacabras and 2 Marionette Masters, 2 Gate to the Afterlife, 1 God-Pharaoh's Gift. All of our cards chucked there at the bottom. So I actually thought the deck did quite well. All 3 of those matchups where we lost, those are just awful variants. Just no way around that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this list. When the 3 wins, though, I thought were quite fun. And don't think this is better than the black-blue version of Marionette Master. You can go check out my YouTube channel for any of... I mean, there's a plethora. You can go even back over a year, and I was playing that game, that deck quite competitively on MMTGO back then, and of course built it on Arena, and have done phenomenal with it here on Arena. But I guess the card that did shine through that I didn't expect to do that great was the Cabal Stronghold. That's awesome for this deck, as it just... Man, it's almost worthwhile putting a Torment of Hailfire in here. Nah, no, it's not. No, it's not, Kevin. That's just bad. But it allows you to have that access to a lot of mana that you can just chain off multiple spells in a turn. Possibly could have played that last match differently, knowing that my opponent was so trigger happy with those memorials. But yeah. Anyway, this is Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.